LSU Tigers have spent a lot of time at home in the early season. This will be their biggest test so far. They've knocked off Mississippi State and Bama. Excuse me, they lost to Mississippi State and Bama. And now they take on the Wildcats of Kentucky, #2 in the nation. Antoine Walker gets a start, sophomore forward, Dick, and he's leading them in rebounding so far.
Well, he's Mr. Versatility. He's put a lot of weight on. He's super strong. He was the MVP last year as a diaper dandy in the Southeastern Conference.
Henderson is in there. Randy Livingston nursing a sore backside. And Dwayne Spencer, the former Hoya, has been a big addition to this ball club. Lately, he's really been hitting the boards.
Well, he's a 6'9" player who can get on the offensive boards. And he's multi-talented. He can handle the basketball exceptionally well. And he had a big game against Vanderbilt, 16 points.
Kentucky at 13-1. LSU is 9-5. At midcourt to jump it up, Ronnie Henderson against Walter McCarty. Last year, these teams, of course, played in Lexington. It was not at all like the game they had here 2 years ago. Kentucky put 127 on the board the last time these guys met. LSU operates with a motion offense against that good Kentucky half-court man-to-man.
Well, Kentucky's been playing great man-to-man defense recently, really attacking the basketball.
McCarty already has a deflection, and Anderson will throw up a bad-looking shot. He didn't even get ironed with the kiss off the glass.
Well, he lost control. Anderson's a transfer from out of Ohio State. He was a Buckeye superstar, came out of Louisville in high school. I know he broke the heart of Randy Years when he decided to transfer.
Kentucky will throw it in. Out on top it goes. Wayne Turner. There's McCarty.
LSU zoning on the inbounds.
That was a short three from Tony Delk, who's shooting 49% from that range this year.
And he's playing brilliant basketball, both defensively and offensively, since they moved him to the second guard.
A little too strong for Dwayne Spencer.
You know, he started at the point guard slot against Massachusetts, and I thought that was a no-no.
Good transition by the Cats. Somehow, Antoine Walker got the ball tipped back up and in.
There's that full court trap. They'll convert.
Anderson to Walker.
But you can't handle their press. That's key number one. You better be able to handle the Kentucky pressure. Look at the turnovers.
That's Turner on the left side, and that's 3 in a row for Antoine Walker.
They better get a timeout, baby, and they got one. They need it. Kentucky all fired up, utilizing that full court trapping defense and then converting. They do a great job like Connecticut. Once they force the turnover, they convert.
1 minute and 4 seconds gone, and already Dale Brown has to use his 20.
Also, Bob, who really takes the crowd, quiets the crowd. There was a lot of emotion here early. The crowd was ready to rock and roll, and this full court pressure, I think, will quiet people as you look at Dale Brown and Johnny Jones sitting next to him.
The good news for LSU, Kentucky drops back in their half-court defense. They've got a whistle down the court away from the ball.
Wayne Turner played head-to-head on Randy Livingston. My heart goes out to Randy Livingston. What a beautiful young man. He's had 4 knee operations. It's just incredible what he's had to face. Came out of high school. He was, without a doubt, the best point guard in America.
Tony Delk on the foul a moment ago. Tigers again down the court.
I really love this Kentucky team. They got all the ingredients. They got great quickness, superb athletes, well coached.
Great look. That's a Walker look to Anderson down low.
Anderson trying to really take advantage of getting the start. He wants more PT, baby. Look at him harass on defense.
Half-court trapping the Cats all over the place.
They don't allow you to get into your offensive set.
McCarty got the block. And then after Rubchenko couldn't knock it down, it was Dwayne Spencer picking up the garbage on the right side.
Look how quickly Kentucky's up the floor.
Walker kicks it back. McCarty can stroke the 3.
He can knock down the 3. He can also, baby, I'll tell you one other thing. He can also sing the national anthem. He's from out of Evansville, Indiana. Went to the same high school as Calvert Chaney.
Harrison High School. He was an All-American there, was Walter McCarty.
I've sit out his first year.
By the way, he's now 11 for 23 from three-point range this year.
That's the versatility they have, Bob. They got guys that can stroke it from deep.
Ronnie Henderson, the jump stop. And more.
Henderson, the leading scorer. in the SEC as you look at Dale Brown at that 31-point lead here. He said everybody got on my case about blowing a 31-point lead. He said it was a miracle for us to have 31. Why don't they look at it that way?
Yeah, that was the miracle, huh? Good drive, good finish. Wayne Turner, the freshman.
Oh, what a play! What a play by... That was incredible by Anderson with the steal.
Antoine Walker has 8 points already.
What a play, though, by Anderson.
His longest shot, a layup. They beat the pressure this time. Ruchenko for 3.
He can knock down the 3, shooting 43% from three-point range.
You can add a percentage point or 2 onto that for the young man out of the Ukraine. It's 15-5 now. Long rebound comes back out to Antoine Walker.
This kid I really like. The kid that's really running the club now. He's the key. He's the engine. Wayne Turner.
Delk with penetration and a reach-in foul.
Delk has really taken his game up another level. He's penetrating. He's making open jump shots. He's knocking down the 3. And he also plays great defense. One of the real premier second guards in America.
Deuce Ford on the foul, the former Memphis Tiger.
So difficult trying to get rhythm when you're bringing in so many new faces.
Here we go.
And then for Dale Brown, he hasn't had a full cast. Even in practice, he's had so many injuries.
Standing on the out-of-bounds line, Tony Delk.
We're just praising him when he makes a boo-boo. I mean, we got to, hey, you can't make those boo-boos and you're going to be one of the top guards in America.
First Kentucky turnover.
Look at that full court pressure. They're really trapped. You got to score. You got to attack it.
Ruchenko does just that, and Roman's got 5 early.
Well, that was really a great way to break it. Get away from the trap, spread the court, and try to attack. Create opportunities, attack the defense.
Now the crowd's back in it. They're down by just 8 after the early 11-2. From the corner, the 3 won't go. Oh, what a rebound.
McCarty with that offensive quickness.
He's got 5 early ones.
What's amazing, Kentucky wears you down as well. They're so aggressive, they harass, and they bring in new bodies. They can rotate 10 people.
Handling the ball, Dwayne Spencer, the deflection. Here's Walker, 3-on-1, he'll go it alone. Antoine Walker in double figures.
Mount Carmel superstar, played with McNabb, Donovan McNabb, the quarterback at Syracuse, now playing hoops.
Walker scored more than 2,000 points at Mount Carmel in Chicago.
Thank you.
He might be halfway there by halftime if this keeps up.
Well, I'll tell you, he's had some great moments. He's been spectacular at times in a Kentucky uniform. He's just got to do it a little bit more consistently.
Into the ball game. Randy Livingston finally got a touch. He's been around for a while. Turner picks up the loose ball. Ahead to Tony Delk. And this is getting a little ridiculous how easy Kentucky is scoring.
Well, it's becoming a dunking show.
All right, Sean, thanks and welcome. And welcome to Baton Rouge. Kentucky's pressure, unbelievable so far. They have already forced Dick Vitale 7 LSU turnovers. It's 21-7, just over 4 minutes into the game.
Well, not only are they forcing the turnover, they're creating opportunities and they're converting off the turnover. Walker's been sensational, and so is Derek Anderson, getting a start here tonight, along with Wayne Turner.
And right as we hit air, turnover number 8, and we've got 4 minutes and 12 seconds gone. 21-7 Kentucky. And Dick Vitale, you and a lot of people remember the ball game here a couple of years ago when LSU was up by 31, but Kentucky made the unbelievable comeback. Then they blew them out in Lexington last year.
Well, you know, 31-point lead, 15 minutes on the clock, and then it was 3-point brigade. But Dale Brown, being the optimist he is, he says, hey, Dick, everybody says that we should have been shocked that we blew a 31-point lead. It was a miracle for us to be up 31. Why don't we get credit?
Well, they were down 52 or so, 57 or so at home last year when Kentucky at Rupp Arena put 127 on the board. Dick, let's just show the folks some of what Kentucky's done so far. A lot of easy baskets. Antoine Walker has 10 points already.
Well, it's been a dunking derby. I mean, it's been one dunk after another. Antoine Walker, so versatile, out of Mount Carmel High School in Chicago. Kentucky's pressure, if you cannot handle it. See, when they lost to Massachusetts, those guards, Padilla and also Padilla, and you talk about Travieso, both guys did a super job, Edgar and Carmelo, in handling that pressure.
Look at that. Kentucky in just over 4 minutes, 16 field goal attempts already. The turnovers, a huge story. LSU coughing it up, 8 points, or rather 8 turnovers, leading to those 12 points.
You know, Pitino did a great job in handling the pressure from Massachusetts, and then they got into their offensive set and made Kentucky play 5-on-5 in a half-court game, and then utilized the great talents of Marcus Camby. And by the way, all of us at ESPN certainly want to send our best wishes for a speedy recovery to Marcus.
Yeah, want to see him back in there.
My midseason of the year, Rolls-Royce superstar at Massachusetts.
Good defense. That's Randy Livingston, who is questionable for the game tonight. LSU's number 21 forcing the Tony Delk turnover. Livingston's knee's okay for you LSU watchers, but he fell on his backside heavily last week, and he's really been hurting for a couple of days.
He's had 4 knee operations, been so unbelievable in his career. One of the tough luck guys. If you look at an air ball by Spencer.
Looked like Dwayne was expecting some contact on the way up. The former Hoya way short with that one. Look at the ball movement by Kentucky.
Great ball movement, and they create the 45-degree angle to get the ball down to the box inside.
12 for Antoine Walker already.
You got to attack this pressure. Deuce Ford from out of Memphis playing the wing.
And a hard drive by Roman Rubchenko, the senior out of Cherkasy of the Ukraine. And he goes right at the Cats.
Bob, it's very difficult to get a rhythm offensively and defensively when you have so many new players. And you look at the LSU contingent right now. Deuce Ford gained eligibility after the Christmas break. Randy Livingston's been out with injuries. And you look right here going to the bench. Look at the last 2 years. Incredible. A number of games he's had to miss with his knee problems.
He just has not been able to play that many games because of all the knee problems. Now it is sophomore year, looking to play finally over 24 games with this one tonight.
When he came out of high school, he was by far the best point guard in America. He was brilliant at all the all-star camps. He has great size, tremendous vision, a great instinct for the game, great attitude. Played at the same high school that a fair quarterback played, who I think is the best quarterback in the land. Peyton Manning from out of Truman High School in New Orleans.
Yeah, he may have a Heisman or 2 on his shelf before he hangs it up.
Well, I don't know about that, but I'll tell you one thing. He and Mr. Livingston are quality guys, and they're great friends.
Anthony Epps into the game, running things for the Cats. Delk blocked but fouled by Dwayne Spencer.
They got 5 great minutes at that point guard slot from Wayne Turner. Defensively, he handled the ball exceptionally well. When you're too deep, when you can go Mercer and Mr. Anderson at the small forward slot, and you can go, for example, with Epps and Turner at the point guard slot, inside you rotate Pope with Walker and McCarty. I mean, this team is so deep, it's incredible. They're the best team in the land. I don't care what records are. They are the best team in America.
Epps, the point guard, missing. Rebound, Deuce Ford, the former Memphis Tiger, who transferred to midseason last year. Spencer, the dump down. Rubchenko waiting for McCarty to get off the floor. Here comes Tony Delk after the deflection. Tony with a bouncer. Underneath, it's Anderson finishing.
I like the way Anderson gets out in transition. He also converts really well. Trying to get more playing time, so they inserted him into the starting lineup.
Derek Anderson, of course, the former Buckeye, a junior who really impacts every phase of this Kentucky game when he's in there.
Rick told me he wants to get him more minutes.
Nice touch off the glass by Dwayne Spencer.
Spencer with that nice baseline drive came in really highly acclaimed when he arrived at Georgetown. Played there 2 years. Oh, this is dunking. It's a dunking show. It's one layup after another. Walker's having just an unbelievable display of dunks.
Here's Neighbors, and he's blocked by Walter McCarty. And they get it back. Henderson rejected. It's a block-a-thon as well. Walker underneath. Anderson again.
Incredible. What an acrobatic move. That's Jordan-esque, baby. That's Jordan-esque. That's supposed to be for Ray Allen down there in Connecticut.
29-10 Kentucky. Spencer says, I'm going all the way this time, and Antoine Walker fouls it.
I'll tell you right now, this tempo and this quickness really is something that the Kentucky kids are going to love. And remember, they can rotate 10 bodies versus what LSU has, and that could be a major factor as this game continues. Now look at McCarty. There it is. Rejection City. He said, thou shalt not enter thy lane. And then the ball. Now that's a no-no. You never flip the ball back under the other team's basket. That's not a good play there by Tony Delk. He got away with it, but not a good play.
Dwayne Spencer goes to the line. Ronnie Henderson conspicuously absent from any touches on the ball so far for the Tigers, who came into this game 9-5. They lost to Mississippi State on this floor by 13. Beat Bama impressively by 22 when they shot 54%. And then they went to Vandy last week and came away 71-68. So 2-1 in the SEC after a rather light non-conference schedule that saw the Tigers play 11 straight home games.
Well, the reason for that, Dale Brown said he knew he was going to have so many new faces that he wanted to give them a chance to get some confidence. But he really had a cast of all new people. Then the injury bug has not had a full team in practice for an entire day since October 15th.
He's got a full team tonight, but they're not all healthy.
Well, Randy Livingston hasn't practiced. As you look at Shepard, knocking him down.
Jeff just steps in and hits a three. He's now 7 out of 12 from out there this year. Livingston transitions. Tough rebound, Rubchenko. He cannot finish, but he did draw a foul.
You know, you mentioned Shepard, who knocks down the shot as soon as he comes off the bench. Shepard went bobsledding during the Christmas holidays with Pope, injured his ankle. I don't think Mr. Pitino was too happy about that.
I would not want to face Rick Pitino after doing something like that during the offseason, the Christmas season, or recruiting season for that matter.
Well, you know, this past summer, Rick had an audience along with his wife with the Pope. It was unbelievable. There were like 20 people. You and I go there, we get no shot whatsoever, but Mr. Pitino's right up there. I mean, there's all kinds of stories about their meeting, including the ring. Why don't you share it?
Yeah, Rick loves to tell a story about kissing the Pope's ring, and the Pope looked down and says, "Rick, where's yours?"
Oh, they get better and better. Look at that score. It's blowout city early in this game.
Mark Pope is in there, playing down at the post on the right. Receives that one as he flashes outside from Shepard.
How many teams you think would like to start Epps, Pope, and Shepard, and Mercer coming off the bench? Think about what I just said.
Yeah.
Epps, Shepard, Mercer, and Pope off the bench.
A travel in the backcourt by Ronnie Henderson right in front of Dale Brown. He's really giving it to the official Rusty Herring, who works with Jim Burr and Frank Scagliotta here at the Maravich Assembly Center. They're going to wipe some perspiration off the floor.
Several years ago, Dale was ejected in a blowout down in Lexington, Kentucky.
Kentucky's been forcing some heavy turnovers lately with that defense. 28 against Mississippi State, 29 against Tennessee. Every opponent this year against Kentucky, 20 plus, except for the Hoosiers, who turned it over 18 times, but still lost 89-82.
Well, it's not only the turnover, it's what they do with the turnover. They do really a great job of converting.
Livingston.
I wish people could have seen this kid prior to his injury. He dazzled them at all the camps. He was unbelievable, number 21.
He's played less than 2 dozen games, Dick, and he almost has 200 assists. There's Henderson finally.
Where have you been, Ronnie Henderson? 60 points in their last 2 games. The leading scorer in the SEC. One of the premier scoring second guards in America. Talking
to the LSU coaching staff today, they felt he was the one guy who could step up and give the Tigers a fighting chance tonight.
Spencer does a good job handling the ball for a big play.
Livingston for Rubchenko, stopped by Pope. Back on top for Ronnie Henderson. Plenty of time on the shot clock. They've got 22 up there.
Henderson from out of Aurora High School down in Jackson, Mississippi.
Air ball from the right wing by Henderson. Running with it, Anthony Epps, who stepped in as the point guard. When they moved Delk over to the 2 guard, doesn't make any difference. That's Ron Mercer, the freshman.
You talk about a diaper dandy with a world of potential, but just adjusting to the system. At a lot of places and have a lot more points, but he's going to get better and better, and he will ultimately be a star. He can get out in a break as well.
Jeff Shepard got the deflection. Now he's got the 3. Rebound, Spencer.
Mercer played out Oak Hill. Came from Tennessee. Many people thought he'd go to Tennessee. Broke the heart. Kevin O'Neal.
Carter on the wing. Driving from the left side. Clean hacking underneath by McCarty and company. And the transition. Mercer dragging it. Unable to knock it down.
His pace, this tempo right now is exactly what this guy loves. Mr. Pitino loves this fast style. Has to really be impressed with the effort of his kids. They came in, by the way, this morning. He said with games that start at 9:30, he likes to come in the day of the game. There's Ron Mercer. Showed his agility. Hangs and gets fouled. hasn't made the impact, let's say, with the guys that he was acclaimed with coming out of high school, the Stephon Marburys, the Sharif Abdul-Rahanes. But you got to understand this. It's a whole different situation. He's sharing time.
Yeah. They love the way he's fit in with his more veteran teammates so far.
Sometimes I think it's better for a diaper dandy to go to a school where you don't have to be the #1 option and all the pressure and all the exposure and everything is really geared toward you. They give you a chance to adjust and get acclimated to college life.
Largest lead for Mercer and the Cats, 37-15, 9 minutes in. And the 'Cuse falls to 13 and 3, excuse me, with that loss. They number 12 in the latest AP poll just out today that shows Kentucky right behind UMass, and Cincinnati leapfrog over Kansas this week. Bob Carpenter with Dick Vitale. Hey, how about a great story about Ron Mercer when they were recruiting him? Oak Hill was playing a Friday night game last season in Louisville.
Yeah, I heard about this.
And Louisville, the whole team got on the van and went down to watch him play. You think that didn't impress a prep senior?
Well, I think it's got to really, boy, then they do things a big-time style. Then it goes to a half-court trap out of there. Zone. Look at the zone look coming out of the man-to-man.
Bruce Ford kicking it in. And a deflection. Rinchenko back on top.
Watch how active defensively. They slide together.
Off the bench, it will not go for Rogers Washington. He gets the loose ball high off the glass. That's the way Pistol Pete used to do it. Wow. Way up the window.
Well, I'll tell you what, there was only one Pistol Pete that played here, and he dazzled them. Better than 40 a game. Rogers Washington, though, with a little acrobatic drive.
Mercer under pressure. Yeah, Pete Maravich only averaged 44.2 his 3 years. If he would have had the 3, he would have averaged 50 a game easy.
Well, you take guys like Pistol Pete, guys like Jerry West, you put the 3-point Oscar Robinson. I mean, are you kidding me?
3,667 points in 3 years.
Look at this, another dunk. It's the dunk Walker.
He's got 16, Dick.
Look at him playing a point of the press. He's so active at 6'9", so quick. There's another turnover.
Pope's got it. He'll kick it. Mercer rolls it.
This is the worst beating I've seen a team take in many a year in terms of trying to just enter the basketball. The crowd is frustrated. Look how happy these Kentucky kids are.
Antoine Walker, 8 of 10. 6 of them are dunks. Lead. The Wildcats 31 down in the second half. Jeff Brasso and company started knocking him down from everywhere. There's Brasso again, and the comeback was on big time. Then of course the pressure defense kicked in as McCarty got the jam. Later he would get the big 3 that would clinch it, and Dick Vitale, there were 2 miracles on one floor in the same night.
That was incredible. What an unbelievable performance. I remember watching it on the tube, the end of it. I couldn't believe it. They also made up T-shirts that said, "Don't give up, don't ever give up," for the V Foundation. They put the score on the front. They sold over, I believe, 6,000 of them and made a lot of money for the V Foundation.
6,400 T-shirts, $3,000 to the V Foundation. They never did give up.
Who scored with a little air ball right there. His dad is a coach at Fairleigh High School over in Memphis who scored. Coached some outstanding players. In fact, Corey Beck and Dwight Stewart. Arkansas, we'll see Arkansas in Memphis on Thursday night.
At the Tomb of Doom, the Pyramid in Memphis. That'll be a great rivalry in the Mid-South as the Razorbacks go visit it.
Well, you know, Nolan Richardson lost so many players, 11, and then he lost Darnell Robinson. And I think it's our respect for Nolan that we all had him rated so high.
Inbounds pass deflected. Oh, look
what a pass.
Walker leaving it for Mercer.
I love this Kentucky team. I mean, I really see every phase of the game that they cover, they just seem to excel at. They really had that poor performance. You got to credit Massachusetts for handling the press and for getting a scintillating performance out of Marcus Camby. But I really believe if they play head-to-head again, Kentucky is the better basketball team.
Mercer, 7 points off the bench. He started against Maryland his first game. He joined Jamal Mashburn and Roderick Rhodes as other freshmen under Pitino that have done that.
Hey, what's going on with Mashburn and Jimmy Jackson down there with Dallas? I know Mashburn's out with an injury. Those guys got to get along. Got to enjoy and play. They're playing for a great coach. They got a great point guard in Jason Kidd.
Here's Spencer. Too tough with it. Underneath. Fighting for it. Henderson. The Cats will have it.
Henderson's going to have to knock down some big threes to get this to respectability. Dale Brown, 24 years on that sideline, 2 Final Fours, 81, also in 86 in that miracle when he beat Kentucky after losing them 3 times in a row. Beat Eddie Sutton's club in the 4th time for the championship of the region.
Delk takes a bump and scores. Tony Delk's 2nd basket of the night. They moved him to the 2 guard right after the UMass loss, and Dick Vitale, they have won everything since.
Well, he wasn't comfortable. He wasn't in a comfort zone. You could see it in that game. He was struggling trying to distribute the basketball, and they really took advantage of that, Massachusetts. And I love Massachusetts. Let me tell you this. Today before the game, Rick Pitino was telling me the 2 greatest rebuilding jobs he's ever seen have been John Calipari and Jim Calhoun. And then we talked about how both should play. I mean, they should play for the Jimmy V Classic.
Yeah, you've been on that for weeks, haven't you?
Oh, that game's a natural, Jimmy Calhoun. Play that game for the Jimmy V Classic at the Meadowlands.
A foul and a basket. Deuce Ford couldn't knock it down the first time. He did the second time.
See, the one thing with Kentucky, because they rotate so many bodies, Rick Pitino doesn't have to worry about a team getting overconfident because they got the big lead. There's the drive to the goal. Now we're going to see the second effort. And there's the second effort by Ford. Strong, good wing player, because he can rotate. If he doesn't see a guy hustling and scrapping, he just says, sit next to me. You become Pine City, baby. You become on a pine, like Bob Carpenter. He's sitting on a pine.
Deuce Ford, a 3-point play. That 3rd ball handling guard that Dale Brown is glad to have in his lineup now, but they might need 5 guys who can handle it at all times tonight.
See, Kentucky has a lot of ball handlers out there. Almost all their players handle the ball exceptionally well.
Mercer for Delk. Tony missing on the 3, and the loose ball picked up by Deuce Ford. Here's Neighbors, a little freshman point guard.
I think he's going to be a solid player. He's got a lot of experience earlier this year with Livingston out. Good ball handler out of West Virginia.
Nice move on the baseline. Ronnie Henderson.
He's a scorer. He's a prolific scorer.
That's the biggest ovation you're ever going to hear for a basket that gets you down by 23.
Especially at home.
Wow.
Comes from a great high school program, Ronnie Henderson. Think about the guys he played in high school with. Look at him right here. Good ball control. He shows the strength, the agility, mobility. Played with Othello Harrington in high school. Jesse Pate of Arkansas. Some other guys that went to that high school. Lindsey Hunter from out of Jackson State, now with the Pistons. And James Robinson, played for Alabama, now with Portland.
At the line, Tony Delk. You know, he's a great scorer, a prolific scorer, but something he did in a recent ball game really impressed their coaches. They had a big battle, he did, with Mississippi State's Darrell Wilson. He played great defense in that game, only took 9 shots, and what he came out of that was he wants to win. He won't take 20 shots if he's got a tough assignment against a very good opponent like that Mississippi State star.
Well, that's the whole attitude now of the Kentucky kids. They have that attitude that we're going to play with one purpose in mind, and that's to win. In fact, Antoine Walker out of New York called a team meeting. He said, we got to forget about PT, playing time. We got to forget about moaning and groaning and individual honors. Let's all unite with one common goal to cut the nets down right down in the Meadowlands come April 1st. Rogers Washington, his dad's name is Roger Washington. Was a pretty good player in his day, Dale Brown told me yesterday.
He's Roger plural as he comes in. West Virginia holds on by a dozen against Syracuse. Finally in the W column in that tough conference.
Bruce's dad does an excellent job as a high school coach for years out there at Fairleigh High School. And Marlon Towns, I can't wait to see him. He just gained eligibility about 4 games ago for Arkansas. He'll be playing. Freshman who's getting some playing time right now. Played in Memphis at Fairleigh High School.
And the Deuce has 5. Kentucky by 23 under 8 minutes before halftime.
Kentucky's been able to do anything they want.
McCarty 2 out of 2 from that range tonight.
They've been able to execute. They want the perimeter 3. They set a screen. They get the 3. If they want to force the turnover off pressure, they force the turnover.
He's now 50%, Dick. 12 out of 24 out there. And quick to the last. Rogers Washington finishes. High school All-American. Louisiana MVP last year. But at the other end, Derek Anderson.
I'll tell you, Anderson is so quick, but I like Washington. He's got a lot of potential. He's very agile. He's a slasher and a driver.
Doubleheader of college hoops coming up Thursday night on ESPN. To the Big Ten, Illinois and Iowa. Keyjuan Garris leading the Illini. Chris Kingsbury firing up the threes for the Hawkeyes. And then it's the battle at the Pyramid in Memphis. Number 9, Tigers waiting for the Razorbacks. There's a lot at stake in that game. A lot of bragging rights, but a lot of recruiting rights as well in that talent-rich city.
Well, Nola Richardson's playing a lot of young kids right now, playing a lot of freshmen, getting a lot of playing time. Kareem Reed doesn't look at Dale Brown, very frustrated, had a game plan. It's really been a tough last couple of years for Dale, but he's really so secure in himself right now. He's so positive. I mean, the guy keeps himself in great shape, and he really feels when I get a healthy team, is his attitude, I'm going to turn this thing around. He's such a competitor. I like the way this guy handles the ball for a big player, Spencer.
He's been going right down the middle several times on the break. Neighbors for Ford.
Try to run their motion game, pass and go away.
Henderson has to shoot over McCarty, who adjusted that shot. Here's the deuce. Kicks it on the wing. Gene Neighbors. Way upstairs. Washington.
He's impressive, I'll tell you. He's very active.
He was stopped by Antoine Walker.
Uh-oh, here they go.
3-on-1.
Here they go. The Kentucky Express.
Epps, McCarty, and on the wing, Delp.
Oh, what a great play. You talk about unselfish basketball, young people. Give the ball to the open man, and that's what they're doing at Kentucky.
Well, so did they do it at LSU that time, but Rogers Washington could not hit the shot. I think he expected somebody to get him on the way up. Look at Walker with the follow. Antoine with 18 in the first half.
And he is really running the court in transition. Their transition game is dynamite. The defense.
Dealt the shot and a foul after the steal by Derek Anderson.
I haven't seen a team look this impressive like they have looked here. They have been. The only other situation you and I did the game was Connecticut looked this way against Florida State.
Yeah.
In fact, after they blew Florida State out, Pat Kennedy apologized. He wrote a letter to the paper. Said, I'm sorry to my fans. We humiliated ourselves. Look at that agility right there. Walker, nobody blocks out, comes right down the lane. Out of Tennessee, great high school scorer, Brownsville, Tennessee, Tony Delp.
All SEC twice in his career so far. Third-team All-America last year.
You know, you talk about the great second guards in the country. You got to talk certainly about Kerry Kittles and Ray Allen. I call them second guards. You got to think about Delp's got to be in that mix as well. Some people would say Ryan Miner, who's like a small forward, but you can classify him as a second guard as well. I like Dante Calabria when you talk about college, the way he shoots the ball.
Maurice Carter on the miss. He gets a second chance, and the freshman from Jackson scoops it home.
They got three good little freshmen there: Neighbors, Washington, and also Carter.
Looked like a walk on McCarty. They let him play on. Shot missed by Oliver Simmons, who checked in for Kentucky a few moments ago.
Simmons getting some playing time now. Hey, both these schools are in a big battle for one of the top 5 high school players in America. As we watch right here, there's the rejection. Nice block right there by Washington. Washington's got live legs. He's very active.
Yep.
The player I'm talking about from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Lester Earl. 6'9", everybody wants him.
Yeah, and everybody asked Dick Vitale here in town today if he's heard of him, and Dick said, yes, I have.
Oh, he's a great one out of Glen Oaks High School. Kansas is in the hunt as well. UNLV.
Quick look inside. Anderson up too quick. Ball was tipped. It looked like it was going to go in anyway. I believe they gave it to Antoine Walker.
The #1 key against Kentucky, you better be able to handle the basketball and get into your offense and not turn it over.
Spencer had to dribble through a trap. Deuce Ford picked up the offensive rebound. He'll draw a foul.
Look at Pitino, very upset on that sideline that they're not blocking out. Give them seconds and thirds.
18 foul. Into the game for the Wildcats, number 40.
Look how active Kentucky is. Now watch him right here. Look at the active. Does he play with the ball up there? Oh, yeah. Maybe a little interference. He's hanging up on the rim.
Ball was going to go anyway, but it looked like McCarty definitely interfered up there. Excuse me, Antoine Walker. Well, when you've got 20 in the first half, you get a few calls.
Kentucky 73 against LSU since Rick Pitino arrived in 1990. Had that confrontation with Pitino, jumped after Dale Brown here. There's always, I mean, there's never been a dull moment when these clubs have met. It's always an exciting time. It's never usually boring, I'll tell you that.
60 on the board with 5 minutes to go in the first half. Make it 63. That's 11 for Derek Anderson.
He wants PT playing time. Great talent. Wasn't starting. They wanted to get him to the starting lineup to increase his minutes.
Very quick, but losing the handle. Maurice Carter, the left-handed freshman. Forest Hill High School in Jackson. He was a guy who idolized Ronnie Henderson out of Jackson's Murrah High School when he was young.
Dale Brown's really spoiled these people here over the years with some of the great clubs he's had. People really want to know, what are you going to do for me today? I guess that's that mentality. We looked at the Miami Dolphins with Don Shula.
Anderson got it back after they couldn't score on his dish to McCarty. Edwards kicks it in, and the left-hander, Antoine Walker's having a good week, and we've only played 15 and a half minutes, 22 points.
Look at the way they trap. You got to throw that diagonal pass. You got to be able to create numbers. You got to convert.
Maurice Carter.
That was great execution right there in attacking the pressure. Got the diagonal pass, created the opportunity, got the numbers, and got the layup.
It'll go back the other way this time. They were looking at McCarty. That'll be his second.
He's got his tattoo. You got your tattoo? Where are your tattoos? I wonder if Pitino's got his. Hey, I'm going to change Pitino's name. I'm going to call him no longer Rick Pitino. I'm going to call him Rick Richard Simmons Pitino. And I'll tell you why.
An ACC Big East doubleheader tomorrow night. First up, it's the Tar Heels and the Cavaliers. Tough place to go on the road in the ACC. And then to the Big East, it's St. John's and UConn. Ray Allen, the Huskies, and that wonderful cast up in Stores waiting for St. John's.
Tip-in by Carter with a little tip-in.
He's got 6 quickies off the bench.
St. John's, where have they gone? What has happened to the great Felipe Lopez coming out of high school? They just haven't been. Oh, look at this show. What a show they're putting on.
Antoine Walker with 2 dozen.
This is a clinic they're putting on defensively, offensively. There's that full court pressure, looking for the deflection.
Up with it, Antoine Walker.
Kids love playing this too.
Walker's 12 out of 14 from the floor. They finally tip it away from him from behind. The Cats will keep it after the Maurice Carter deflection.
You mentioned deflection. They chart deflections because that shows whether or not you're playing aggressively.
67-33 Kentucky. 42 shots. 27 of those have gone in. They're getting it done all over the place. And look at the last couple of meetings. When you take the big comeback 2 years ago, the blowout last year, first half of this one, it's ugly over the last 72 minutes.
Hey, I'll tell you, you talk about Mr. Simmons, I call him. I mean, he had a manager, right? He's got a manager, Sean Gray, about 5'7". The kid went up to about 350. Pitino got all over him, said, you got to lose a lot of weight. He lost a lot of weight. They went to Europe. As we watch another 3 go down, he came back and he put some weight on. Pitino said, you're suspended. You go over and you work on the treadmill while we're in practice. And then he lost some weight. He's put him back on. I'm going to call him Richard Simmons, Pitino. Hey, Simmons. He's not Pitino. He's Simmons.
Well, the 10-second workout didn't work for the Tigers that time. They failed to cross the timeline. By the way, that 3 a moment ago, Alan Edwards, a sophomore out of Miami Senior High School, where Jamel Martinez played, he just steps off the bench for Pitino and drills a 3.
His brother's playing right now for Miami, for Leonard Hamilton, doing a good job with that program. Antoine Walker, what a show he's having tonight. Anything he wants to do. He said, it's my night. Look at this, another turnover.
They're 3 points away from tying their all-time biggest first half. 72 already. There are 2 of them right there, and that's Oliver Simmons, the freshman from Nashville.
Well, he did a great job, Simmons, posting up, got real wide, posted up strong, took it to the goal.
Washington, Rogers has 6.
Look at the way Kentucky runs the ball right back up the court.
Spencer pins it against the glass.
You can do that in college basketball. The NBA, you cannot.
Washington again. Can't quite knock down the miss.
They got a good player in Washington. He's going to be a solid player.
Epps with a great look. Now they've got a record first half. That's 4 for Simmons, 76 points.
I'll tell you, they're doing anything they want offensively. I mean, it's absolutely embarrassing. They get layup after layup. The defense is non-existent. You can see the kids at LSU really hanging their heads. The crowd is really out of it, and you feel so bad. I hate to see anybody humiliated.
His first personal foul.
Yeah, the big problem now, Dick. 22 minutes and 7 seconds left to play, and they've already given up 76 points. That 127 of last year's looking pretty suspect right now.
Kentucky's execution tonight, offensively and defensively, has just been incredible. But they have been playing exceptional basketball, and that's why all the people at Rupp and all the people in Lexington are so excited about this team. This is the best team that I have seen Kentucky put on the floor in many, many a year.
Here's Epps, feeling his way around, kicks it, and a slam by Walker. He's got 28. 28 points in the first half.
I'll tell you, it's one layup after another. It's dribble penetration in the gap, dump the ball down, and then the dunk. Just incredible. We're going to take a look at dribble penetration by Epps right here. Drives right at the defense. He spots Walker. There's the diagonal pass. There's the conversion.
He's only 14 out of 16 now.
There's the dump down. Got another look. Jimmy Moore, fine director. And all the angles working. Fortunately, they're not working tonight for LSU.
Loose ball picked up. Dwayne Spencer. Tigers have gotten caught up in it. Livingston to Washington. And a foul with a basket.
You got to like Washington. He's so active. He's so live. He's got the live legs. Quick. Seems to be able to convert. Just get confused at home. Rogers and Roger. Rogers the dad. Rogers is the son.
He will go to the line. Out of Franklin, Louisiana, Hanson Memorial High School, where he averaged 29 and 11 boards per game last year.
He was a big-time player. Dale Brown very high on him.
Not to mention 4 blocks a game. 78-37 Kentucky. Final minute 20 of the first half.
You know, Dale Brown's got 18 wins over Kentucky. He's got more wins over Kentucky than any other coach.
Dealt for 3. That's 14 for Tony. They've got 81 on the board.
Joby Hall's in the house doing a little radio commentary. We spoke to him tonight at dinner. 1978 won that national title.
Kentucky's most recent. Oh, Spencer. He's got 7.
Wayne Spencer with a nice cut without the basketball.
You know, LSU not exactly a horrendous offensively, nearly 40 points, but they have not been able to stop anything Kentucky's done. Dell. And they box out. Loose ball. Cats have it.
If you were to chart Kentucky tonight on their offensive efficiency, their rating would be incredible.
That was turnover number 22, and a couple of points for Nazim Mohammed off the bench.
Did you hear what you just said? Turnover 22. I mean, Chris Fowler, we're talking about not apple turnovers. We're talking about hoops turnovers, and they're converting these like you can't believe. Paul Westphal, how can he get fired? They're playing without Johnson. They're playing without Manning. They're playing without John Williams. Unbelievable.
Fowler and Clark Kellogg standing by with our Delta Faucet halftime report. The top 25. Coaching change in the NBA. Stack and Jordan, little Carolina flavor to the big league tonight.
Yeah, Jordan last time they hooked up 48-13, and then he went for 46 against another North Carolinian, Mr. Rasheed Wallace. Michael the Magnificent.
Final 15 seconds mercifully now in the first half.
I don't think Shepard's going to go bobsledding during the season any longer, do you? And that ankle injury was out.
Shepard for 3. Oh, out there!
Why not? Everything else is falling down. I mean, it is NBA, nothing but nylon all night long for the Kentucky Cats with a scintillating first half. They have been absolutely brilliant.
Their biggest lead, 86-42. Chris Fowler, no, it's not a final. It's only the halftime score.
No, we're not that lucky. It's not a final yet. What does Bob Goulet sing? Let's kick a little tush, get back in the bus.
Spurtability on display in maximum form. I mean, what can you say? That is, oh, that's good. That's what the fellows would say. Oh, that's good.
They are destroying the SEC, winning their games with an average of 24 a game coming in. It's about to go up.
Well, they lock you up defensively, and then they turn turnovers into points just like this. I mean, it's rapid-fire points off turnovers.
Wow. Coming up on our Delta Faucet halftime report, we'll have some scores and highlights. There's a coaching change in college basketball as well as the NBA. Highlights of the Indiana-Purdue battle, Knight against Gene Katie. And West Virginia, there's a big party going on in Morgantown. We'll show you why. It's all ahead.
ESPN's presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by the new Dodge. We're thinking ahead.
A record-breaking first half, Kentucky huge.
ESPN's presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by the new Mercedes-Benz E-Class, Motor Trend's 1996 Import Car of the Year, and by Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth.
In the Joe Harrington Swan Song, Colorado still trails by 2 points with 3:40 to play. Dale Brown not ready to throw in the towel, but his team in way over its head. Back to Bob and Dick for the second half.
Thank you very much, Bruce Muller. Thank you very much, Chris. 6:42 is the score at the half.
I'll tell you right now, Bob, it's been an unbelievable show. It's just been incredible. I think they need some help. I think they're calling out to the studio. They want Clark Kellogg. They want Chris Fowler. They need some help, baby. I mean.